I love to encourage people to greet every single day with praise, to report every day with a purpose of who they are, to engage every single day with a plan, so they don't shoot first and draw the circle later and say bullseye. At the end of the day, to analyze the day with a perspective. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What was successful? What was not? What can I do better tomorrow? And to terminate the day. To terminate the day with prayer. But a part of that process is being real. Instead of watching TV, perhaps being quiet before God. This time's a time of reflection. A time of asking yourself the hard questions. And the good questions. Question number 1, what remarkable thing did God do today? I love Luke 5, verse 26. That it talks about them being seized with astonishment because they had seen remarkable things today. In my office, in my church, I have a bell right next to my door. I have a nautical theme in my office and a ship's bell. And I encourage my staff that whenever God does something amazing, come on in, ring the bell, and then we're all supposed to come out so they can give a report of the goodness of God. Well, we can't always do that. But we can applaud God all throughout the day, and especially at the end of the day. What would you applaud God for today? Sometimes God does amazing things throughout the day, and you know what we do? We just move on to the next day, and we don't applaud God. We don't ring the praise bell. And I think God would have us do that. Now, number 2, end of the day question, if you will, is in what ways was today successful as God defines it? And again, asking ourselves the hard question. How does God define success? We could go to Psalm 1. We can go to Joshua 1. Where there's lots of places where God defines that. Not walking in the counsel of the wicked, not standing in the way of sinners, not sitting in the seat of the scornful, but delighting yourself in the law of the Lord, Psalm 1 says. And in all you do, you're successful. So you ask yourself that. Third question is, in what areas would God say I did poorly today? You remember, it was at Hebrews 13, or actually it's Hebrews 3, verse 15, that says, don't harden your heart. Sometimes we're so used to doing things the way God didn't design us to do them, they become a habit. Sometimes chaos becomes normal. We become addicted to chaos if we're not careful. And he keeps saying, don't harden your heart. Don't let the deceitfulness of sin become habitual in your life, because it can be. And all throughout the book of Hebrews, he talks about that habit of doing the wrong thing. Don't forsake the assembling, as is the habit of some. So we ask ourselves that question. So what did I do poorly today, and is it a habit? Is this a pattern? Am I addicted to this chaos, to this poor decision-making? 1 Samuel 14:38 says, draw near and investigate and see how this sin happened today. Investigate. Do some research on yourself. That's not easy to do, but it's necessary. End of the day question number 4 is, what would God have me do better tomorrow? You know what I love about my God is the God of second chances and third chances. He's a merciful God. I'm sure you recall the story of Jehoshaphat in 1 Chronicles 20. Remember when he's surrounded, army to the north, south, east, and west. That could ruin your day. I don't care who you are. And God says to him, do not fear, don't worry. Stand and see the salvation of the Lord. The battle is not yours, it's mine. And then he says to Jehoshaphat, watch this, tomorrow go down against them. Tomorrow, that's easy for you to say. I'm surrounded today. We may have physical, emotional, and spiritual problems, and financial problems, and family problems, and north, south, east, and west. We are surrounded. Psalm 42 says he was swamped. And God says, go to bed. How do you go to bed? Only if you know God's in charge. The one who doesn't sleep, the one that doesn't slumber, is in charge. He said, go to bed. So let me review these. What remarkable thing did God do today? In what ways was I successful today? In what areas would God say I did poorly today? What would he have me do better tomorrow? And then Proverbs 19:23, Proverbs 3:24 says that you will sleep satisfied, and I love this, and your sleep will be sweet. That's his promise.